Welcome to the One Time Podcast. My name is Miriam Bias. I'm the host of this podcast. And in my show, me and my guests talk about time, productivity, and factors that influence our energy level, ability to concentrate, and do meaningful work. I assume that what you do is actually something that you really like to do. And I think even if we do things that we really like to do, it's not worth putting ourselves so much into it that we feel stressed and exhausted, but that we have the right to feel good about it. And in today's episode, I would like to talk about a concept that you've maybe heard of, and that is that you are, or that you behave like the sum of the 5 people you spend most time with. And now you can maybe think for yourself, who are those 5 people? Maybe it is your boss, maybe it is your colleagues, maybe it is your partner, it is your friends. And I mean, obviously, it's not strictly 5 people. That's just a saying. Maybe it's 3 people that you spend most time with, or maybe it's 6 or 7. You can think for yourself. And then it's likely that you act like the sum of those 5 people. If those 5 people are mostly stressed about work and mostly stay late and mostly talk about time in terms of scarcity, then it is likely that you think in a similar way, that you copy their thoughts and that you copy their behavior. So if everyone stays late, you are more likely to also stay late. And if everyone is talking about their work as being stressful, then you are more likely to also talk about your work as stressful. Exiting this can be really difficult because being part of a social culture or a social group feels safe. And that is because, especially in ancient times, being part of a group would ensure our survival, and being excluded from a social group could mean that our survival is actually in danger. So it can feel more comfortable to feel stressed but be part of a group than to not feel stressed and risking not being part of that group anymore. And I would like to encourage you and assure you that not being stressed will not necessarily, or I don't think at all, lead to your social exclusion from the group that you are in. What you could do is you could reflect on the conversations that you have with those 5 people. Like when it comes to topics around time or work, how do these people talk about work? Do they talk about work in terms of stress? Do they talk about time in terms of scarcity? And then also, how do they behave? Do they stay in late? Do they rush things? Are they hectic about things? Are they present, or are they always all over the place and their thoughts are already one step ahead, or their thoughts are one step behind, and they are never aligned with their physical body, if you want, or they're never aligned with what they do? Like they're in the lab, but they think about statistics, and then they're sitting in front of their computer writing, but their head is in the lab again. How do these people behave, and how do these people talk? And then you can think about, how do you respond to their behavior and to their talking? Like if there is conversations around work, do you contribute to these sayings? Like, do you say, yes, I'm also very stressed, and yes, I also never have enough time? And do you reinforce the topic of that conversation? Do you increase the strength of the message of that conversation in a way so that overall as a group you feel reinforced when exiting the conversation? Like you feel, I'm stressed, and then everyone reinforces that they're also stressed, so you are confirmed in being right about being stressed, right? You're part of the group because you feel similar like everyone else. And then when you want to change that, you can, when there is such a conversation, you can try to invite people to have another perspective on their work. Like, are you able to change the course of the conversation into a more positive view on time, into a more positive view on stress, or even towards questioning stress? Like, is it really necessary that we work the way we work? Might there not be other ways to work? Or if that seems impossible for some reason, or you don't feel comfortable with speaking against the group in a way, then you could also exit the conversation by just not basically contributing to it. So you are not making the topic even stronger. It's like exiting talk about gossip. You're just like, okay, this part of the conversation, I'm out. And then I can enter the conversation again when there is a topic that I actually want to contribute to. Yeah. And this is also something that can really prevent you or someone from changing the way that they behave and changing the way they work. Because when we are in such group and in such an environment, in such a workplace, then behaving like the group does can feel safe and comfortable in a weird way, because the price we pay for being part of this group is that we are stressed. And then we can question ourselves, is that really a price that I want to pay? And isn't there other ways that I can be part of this group without being part of the stress culture? There, it is also hard to align what we think and what we feel to what we do, because you might have realized, okay, the way that I work is stupid, to put it in frank terms. I don't want to work like this anymore. But then actually behaving in a different way can be really difficult. It's similar to smoking. Like, so many people know it's stupid to smoke and still they smoke. They know it, but they don't act accordingly. Or when it comes to environmental protection, sorting your waste or doing sports, we know what we should do. And we often know how we could do it in a better way and how we could live a healthier life, but we don't do it. And that is often because we are scared of losing the social circle that we are in. And here what you could try is to really do it like little by little, and to make your subconscious mind realize that it's safe to change. It's safe to change little by little. And the first things that you could do are things that are not visible to your colleagues. Like if you, for example, start working in units or using the Pomodoro technique, where you set your timer to 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and then you focus on what you're doing. You don't do anything else, no social media, no emails. And then when you hear that the time is up, you get up from your desk, you move a little bit, you get your coffee, or you talk to a colleague, whatever it is, you take a screen break. That is something that can make you become aware that there is other ways of working. But it can also feel safe enough because you are not acting against the culture of your workplace, or you're not visibly acting against the culture of your workplace, right? And then maybe little by little you can exit this contagious stressful environment, and you can find your own way. And then by you exiting this stressful environment, and by you having another, I think your mood will change, or your aura will change. And I'm sure that people will notice that you're not as stressed anymore. And then you can be the fifth person in a group of people, or you can be the fifth person of someone that changed something. And then this person will ultimately also be less stressed if you want, because if you are one of the five and you're decreasing the overall stress level, then you can help other people also be less stressed. And it might sound a little bit abstract, but I'm sure that if you're starting, you will realize how this works, that you can, by acting differently, reduce the overall stress level in your group. So you are probably the sum of the 5 people you spend most time with. Become aware of how these people talk about time, how they act around time and stress. Find your own truth. Question, is this what I want to believe? And if it is not what you want to believe, how do you want to think about it and believe instead? And then little by little, change the way you think, change the way you behave. And then those two will reinforce each other. You will think differently about stress. You will behave differently. By changing your behavior, you will realize, there is actually ways to feel less stressed. So your thinking again changes. And then your behavior will change, because the two are strengthening each other, right? And they're reinforcing each other. So I would like to invite you to pay attention to the words that you hear, to the conversation that you're in, to your own truth. And that is a component of time management that can be a bit uncomfortable, because time management is also about really being honest to yourself. Like, what are the stories that I tell myself? Is this what I want to believe? And what do I want to believe instead? And how can I get to be that person that thinks differently from the person that thinks how I think now, right? So with that, I would like to end today's episode. Think about those 5 people. Think about the person that you want to be in someone else's group of 5 people. What's your thoughts? Question your thoughts. And then, yes, I'm sure that things will gradually, slowly but surely change for you.